So don't do this at home. Now we'll have high voltage as what the hell? Did I short something? Okay, retry. So don't do this at home. Now as soon as I turn on this what is this? And here is my handicraft. Let's measure and see where we are. I made my own taser back in my old video. The arcs can jump well. Don't bring your finger close to a stun gun when it's running. Everyone can build something like this or even stronger, but it might not be legal everywhere. Let's always keep a proper distance from Tesla coil. Let's play Pink Panther. Actually follow the standards. So if she was in fact electrocuted, then why? Oh, maybe she dropped the wall adapter in the water, completely submerged it, and then plugged it in. Oh! So I guess this... Okay. Slippery. I could take it off. This circuit that's responsible for the timing. And you can see a tiny negative sign beside it. That means that that side needs to be connected to ground or negative box. The tip of the gun here simulates a human finger. Always be careful with your tools. Now, they usually zap a completely assembled unit. But sometimes it's also beneficial to zap a bare board like this one and see what happens on the actual board. Never hold the board you're zapping with your hand because the ESD will jump to your body through the board. Now to check my body tolerance, I set the output to minimum. At 0 volts it's pretty... Oh, I set it to max. It will be lethal in your mouth, but I can do that too. The device is very simple. It runs on 2 AA or AAA batteries and has 2 electrodes on the bottom and turns on with a switch. Now if you don't move, it says... I made this simple circuit and I'll plug it in. Now the circuit is hot and the voltage is on the... Something you must never forget is that some capacitors, like electrolytic ones, are polarized and you must never connect them backwards or they will blow up. Now I have replaced the capacitor on my circuit and I'll plug it in. In addition to polarity, the capacitors must be rated properly to be able to handle the voltage across them, or they will blow up, obviously for you. To measure the 120 volt AC, I put the meter on AC and I measure the voltage. Sometimes when you're probing a line, you might touch the probes, but never forget about the voltage on the probes. And each pair is attached to one of these cables, which we can plug them into the wall power plug. Please join me for the first time to hear how it sounds. And 1, 2, 3, 4. I've opened the camera, but the first thing to remember is that there are a lot of bits and pieces and small and large screws that go in the camera. So always remember what those were and store them nicely to avoid losing them. Now let's take a look at the camera here. There are a number of electronic circuits in the camera and there are connectors everywhere, like this one, a connector here, 2 connectors there, 1 connector here. This is actually a connector, and if you can see, there is a connector under the connector here. And if I flip the camera, and you can see the lens here, and if I remove the lens, you'll see the giant flash capacitor back here. Apparently the flash capacitor is holding around 300 volts of charge in it, and it can hurt a lot if you touch it. So I record the head and rotate it and mount it on the tail by piercing into the tail. Volts. So for example, if I connect my 12 volt supply here to the primary and charge it and then disconnect it, the voltage of the primary should jump up, creating a huge voltage on the secondary here that should create a spark. Let's try it out. There is nothing. Is there actually a voltage? Well, my theory was right. Obviously there is high voltage on the secondary, but the problem is that that high voltage pulse period is so short it can't create an arc. But there's source. Let's try it out. Wow, this is wild. You can see how far... This gap is quite wide. Let me measure it for you. The fuse box should be somewhere in the output to see how the waveform changes.
A quick calculation shows having 170 volts across 100 ohm generates 300 watts of power. It's like having a 300 watt lamp within your fingers. It burns your skin very quickly. Now I use pliers to hold the resistor. See, the output voltage drops, but with very small ripples because there is a lot of filtering. Wow, I was holding that. I let it cool down for a while. The hell? The hell? Why bad things happen to good people? Come on. Ooh. Plug it to the inverter. Anytime you connect a power harness, connect it to your load side first so you wouldn't short your power supply or shock yourself. Let's try it out.